Delta Community Christian Church, located in Lansing, Michigan, was asked to talk about our practices that care for creation. While we do a lot of small things to take our role as stewards seriously, for this answer we decided to take a step back and look at the big picture. You see, a lot of churches who are wrestling with this topic are looking for ways to reduce their carbon footprint. This is a great and worthwhile effort, but let's think about that for a second from a house church perspective. This entire bag of Fruity Loops represents approximately 250 tons of carbon dioxide, which is the average footprint of a megachurch. Most megachurches could improve their carbon footprint just by following some standard practices in the environmental world. But even if a megachurch followed all the green practices, it might reduce its carbon footprint by about 25%, getting this pile down to 187.5 tons of carbon dioxide emissions per year. That's still quite a bit of carbon dioxide. While the average church has a much smaller footprint at about only 38 tons of carbon dioxide per year. Initially, this sounds great for small churches. However, if you take into account that the average church attendance is approximately 75 people, while the average megachurch attendance is almost 4,000 people, this means that per person, a megachurch produces about 140 pounds of carbon dioxide per year, while the average church produces about 1,117 pounds of carbon dioxide per person per year. Almost 8 times more carbon dioxide per member. Now let's take a look at house church carbon footprints. The average household produces about 6 tons of carbon dioxide per year. Our church has 3 branches that meet at 3 different houses each week, so that'd be about 18 tons per year. But our houses aren't separate buildings that are used for the purpose of church meetings. The rest of the week, they're used the same way as every other family's home would be. So we really only use energy for church gatherings 1 day a week. And on that 1 day, we're really only meeting for about 4 hours. Some of this energy would be used whether we were hosting a church at our place or not. But for the sake of simplicity, we're going to ignore that fact and just stick to 4 hours per week for 3 different households. That calculation comes to a little less than half a ton of carbon dioxide per year. That calculates to about 2 millimeters in length and 1 millimeter in width. This nickel is just shy of 2 millimeters. So you can see how tiny that really is. You might be wondering, yeah, but what about the per member usage? I'm glad you asked. When you break that down between the approximate 55 people that attend our church each week, that comes out to 17 pounds of carbon dioxide per member per year. So by default, the very act of not owning, maintaining, and meeting in a building is a huge step toward our care of God's creation. And like I said at the beginning of this video, we also do lots of other small things to try to offset this carbon footprint even more. We share one another's resources like vehicles and lawnmowers and appliances. A long time ago, we decided to stop using disposable dishes for the meals we share on a weekly basis, start washing our dinnerware and communion cups so that we stop adding to the landfills. We also attempt to live in close proximity to one another so that we can reduce travel and increase our time together. Not to mention the community gardens we've participated in, as well as beautifying local parks. Many of our activities are not blatantly for the sake of creation care, but it is interwoven into our daily lives and the very structure of the way we meet together. Ours is a subtle and embodied approach. We'd love to hear your advice for how we can do even better at caring for the creation that God entrusted to us. And we'd also love to hear what you are doing in your own lives and churches to be good stewards of this amazing world God has given us.